So to be fully transparent, and I like discussing this, is because this will relate to many agents who are just starting, is I started with zero. I started with no money and a baby on the way.
Whoa.
Yes.
Dude.
I started with no money and a baby on the way.
Wow. That's stressful.
Yes.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I was very self-motivated. I used that as a motivational factor that there was only plan A, that this was going to be my plan, my chance to run my own company, be successful. And so I definitely was raised with the mindset that we have a plan A and plan B is only a distraction from plan A.
A Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins, and today we are in studio, man, with someone I've known for a very long time. He's been to our conference. We've talked, I would say, over the years, probably known each other for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Someone who's incredibly impressive, even though there's a lot of amazing things you could say about him, but here's what I want to share is that, like, his goal today wasn't to brag on anything, his accomplishments and what he's done. Like, he's a very humble dude. What he wants to accomplish today is to help you sell more insurance, get in front of more people, build your business better. And so we're going to get into some cool stuff related to that. His company's Better Insurance Management. He started insurance about 9 years ago, 2016, and has around 400 direct agents and agencies that he works with, and has a really amazing prospecting system for getting in front of doctors and hospitals and networks. And so please welcome to Power Players, I think for the first time ever, Bryan Mancheno.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and being able to do this.
Yeah, man. Likewise, dude. I appreciate you. And you know what I was enjoyed about, like, our conversation right before this, and what I like about you and what I've respected over the years is you are very direct. It's not everybody's flavor or cup of tea, by the way.
That's true.
But you're very transparent and honest about what's on your mind and what you believe someone should be doing that could help their business, which I think I'm even more excited about this podcast because of that, right? Which is
awesome.
Cool. How has your career went? Like, if we rewinded back to the very beginning, did it go as amazing as it is today, or it was a struggle?
So to be fully transparent, and I like discussing this, is because this will relate to many agents who are just starting, is I started with zero. I started with no money and a baby on the way.
Whoa.
Yes.
Dude.
I started with no money and a baby on the way.
Wow. That's stressful.
Yes.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I was very self-motivated. I used that as a motivational factor that there was only plan A, that this was going to be my plan, my chance to run my own company, be successful. And so I definitely was raised with the mindset that we have a plan A and plan B is only a distraction from plan A.
Amen.
And so that was my focus, and it was hard. Like I said, didn't have any capital, and I was blessed to have an awesome mom who loaned me money to start the business.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I started my business from day one. And what I'm going to talk about today is hospital and doctor networking, because what I did and what I gave my mom before she loaned me the money was a business plan. And I put a business plan together, and my target market was seniors, but approaching them through doctors' offices, because I didn't have money. So didn't have money to spend on buying leads or investing in mailers or anything else like that we're able to do now. So what I said was, okay, how do I reach the most amount of seniors with the least amount of money? Where do the schedules revolve around?
That's a good question.
Okay. And so my answer to that was doctor's offices. Most of your grandparents' schedules revolve around their doctor's appointments.
True. Monday's out because I've got something at 2 o'clock.
Exactly. So their schedule revolved around doctor's offices. And I said, okay, so what am I going to do? At this time, there was a lot of legislation going on what drug reps weren't allowed to do anymore. And they are prohibited from now giving all these materials, giving all these goodies, because it was thought of a form of abatement where they were buying doctors too.
And a lot of them were,
Yeah.
at
So
least on the movies.
it actually, fortunately, worked out in my favor. And because of this, I put my own program together and I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go and door knock instead of clients, primary doctors. So I would make a list of every primary doctor in the county that I was. And that's where I started. And then doctors can be very intimidating. So definitely, that's what I've seen has come up again and again, that many people are kind of scared to approach a doctor's office.
Why is that?
I think because of the stigma that they're too busy, that they won't have time for you, and just the interaction. And what people don't realize is it's not so much building a relationship with the doctor as much as it is building a relationship with the people who are responding and talking to all the patients, which are those front desk, that office manager. Some of the largest practices that refer all their clients to us, I've never even met their doctor.
Wow.
And we get anywhere from 50 to 100 per practice of Medicare referrals.
How
Some
often?
of the largest.
50 to 100
per year.
per year. Dang.
Yes. So
Start stacking those up. That's
exactly.
a lot.
Exactly. And a lot of times it's people who are becoming new to Medicare and not knowing what to do. So what do? They go to their doctor and they ask, hey, what's the advice? What insurance do I take? And for those who don't know, it is illegal for a doctor to tell you what insurance to take. Only thing a doctor's office can tell you is what they accept and do not accept. And many people don't know that.
So that at least they know what's in network.
Exactly. So all they can say is we accept this and we don't accept this. To help avoid that situation, we make sure that when we approach them, we let them know, hey, we will keep track of all the plans you accept. And when you refer people, we'll make sure that they are aware. Okay. So this makes it easier. So when I first started, it was door knocking. And again, it's not going to be easy. Even I was a little intimidated, and I would approach them and I would simply introduce myself. I would say, I'm Bryan Mancheno. My company is Better Insurance Management. I have a local office here to you, and I would love to take some of that burden off your hands by referring your clients or patients to a Medicare professional, somebody who will help them set the way. This gets rid of the wait lines in your waiting room. This gets rid of patients constantly having to ask you questions that you don't really know the answers to. Because the moment you start answering Medicare questions, it's going to be followed up with a Social Security question. You think those front desk ladies know anything or should be referring anything? Yeah. So let me be your resource for that.
It's a good point.
So that's how I started. And when I first started, again, wasn't very successful in the beginning, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. So then I expanded. I visited doctors all through. I'm from New Jersey. All through New Jersey, the entire state. I would drive 3 hours to get to the top, 3 hours down. We're blessed to have a small enough state where it can reach top and bottom in 3 hours. But at the same time, we're one of the most densely populated. So that was thousands of doctors. And in recounting, because of course we keep track of everything through Google spreadsheets at that time and things like that, I visited over 6,000 primary practices in New Jersey, New York City area, and Philadelphia area, because they're all within an hour and a half of me. And in doing that, I was able to generate a lot of traction that I started becoming the regional top seller within my first 2 years.
Dang.
Yeah, within my first 2 years.
What time frame does it take to hit 6,000 doctor's offices in New Jersey?
It took me 7 months, and that means, what this means is Monday to Friday, every day I would check what time the earliest office opened, whether it was 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 8 a.m., and start there and start my route. Ideally, you'd like to think that it's as easy as, put this in the app and it'll tell you which ones. But you're losing opportunity that way, because a lot of doctors' offices open at different times, from 8 to 11. So if it meant that I had to drive 1 hour in one direction, then half an hour in another one, to see a doctor at 8 that maybe wasn't along the way, but they opened, I knew earlier, then that's what I had to do. And so I never let it stop me. I let it keep going. And it was every day, Monday to Friday, every day. I didn't worry about sales because I knew they would come in. It was just having that commitment and dedication that through. And it took me about 7 months before the leads started coming in regularly. And that might seem crazy to most people.
Yeah.
But just imagine if someone were to tell you, hey, work hard for 6 months and you'll never have to pay for a lead again the rest of your life.
How many would now? It's genius.
Yep.
But what percentage of agents do you think will actually do that?
What percent? To be honest with you, less than 1%.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's very discouraging
Usually
in the
6
beginning.
months.
It's very discouraging in the beginning because you're not going to get that immediate. And even if you do get one referral right away, our humanity makes us think, wow, I spent all that time and all I got was one sale so far. Where you can't look at it like that. So you got to figure out on how to use this opportunity. So as I grew, income started coming in, I perfected this and I worked on different programs. And so in the hospital and doctor networking, as many of you know, through Medicare, CMS provides materials for us at no cost. Many agents are not aware of this. So in doing that, I would order tons of information, basic materials from Medicare. I would call CMS and ask them if I'm allowed to brand it. And they would let me know that there's specific designated areas on all their materials where you're allowed to brand it. So when I first started, I would just go to Walmart, buy labels, print them out, and put them in those areas. Nothing too fancy, but it makes it really hard when I go to a doctor's office and say, here's some free pens. Okay, that was branded with my name. Or I would talk to a carrier as I started making sales, and they have no problem giving you tchotchkes and giveaways. So I would ask for pens. That's all I wanted was pens or no pens because doctors' offices need that. So now they don't have drug reps supplying them with all these things. And the doctor's ordering from Staples the cheapest pen possible that's exploding on these people all the time.
That's a small thing you don't think about either. Like
No, you
taking care of their people and like what they're lacking, what they need.
Exactly.
Different way of thinking. Yeah.
Yep. So we fill those needs by supplying them with simple office supplies. So I'd take a little baggie that would be branded with my company name and my phone number. I'd put pens inside, and then I'd put CMS material, a sample of one of each, and then I'd ask them, can I leave some CMS material? Now it's branded with my name. It'll say, call your local representative, have my information, what I was allowed to do. And it's very hard for them to say no.
Yeah.
If it's government material that's teaching people, they want to have that literature. They want to have things that engage their patients while they're there waiting.
Smart.
Yeah. So I would limit it. I would put only 30 copies. You better believe by the end of the week, they were gone. And so as I started doing that again was helping me build my relationship with that office.
Yeah.
So now I'm delivering this to all the ones that are referring to me. As they start referring more and more and you start making sales, use your own book of business. I would go and find the common primary doctors that my clients had. And I'd say, hey, I already work. Or I would tell the client, can you do me a favor? Many times clients want to say, how can I thank you? How can I, for the work that you've done? This is an opportunity for you to say, hey, listen, I don't want anything but this.
It's cool.
Give my recommendation to your doctor. Let them know what I did for you. Let them know that I'm here to help, and I helped you, and how great it was that I was able to help you, whether it be with your prescriptions, your medication plan, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Let them know, and let them know that I'll be stopping by. And when you have 3, 4, 5, 20, 40, 50 clients telling this, they're going to recognize your name. They're going to know, oh, Miss Susie stopped by. And it was great speaking to her, and she mentioned what you do for them. We would love to have your cards and your information. And now we start forming a pattern. So that is like
You got the client angle too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's like the first base of this operation. Okay. Now what's going to give me credibility? What's going to allow me to separate myself from anybody else? So I decided, okay, what's the next step? How can I further my reputation and further my acumen in the business? And I said, okay, what if I can get a doctor to write a letter of recommendation for me and put it in writing? So I said, why not? What do I have to lose? The ones that were referring the most, I asked. And once you get one doctor that's willing to do it, now your credibility changes with every office. I had a binder with every letter of recommendation that I would get from a practice. Now imagine you walk into a doctor's office and you say, here's 60, 70 other practices that work with me. Here's the letters of recommendation where they are vouching their reputation for what I can do for them.
Genius.
So I said, let's not stop there. Let's start with the third phase. Let's approach hospital administrators. And my plan, again, you got to be strategic on what you do. Ask and make it so it's really hard for them to say no. So I would ask to contact hospital administrators. I'd send tons of emails to everybody there to see who would speak with me. They might put you with an outreach coordinator or whatever it was, but I wanted to get the hospital administrator. And when you're able to get a meeting and you're able to walk in and say, hey, I have 100 doctors. Here it is that vouch for what I do. All I'm asking is for the hospitals send out an email to all of their participating doctors that's saying that I am one of your trusted partners. That's it. Don't say that they have to work. You're not saying anything. Just that you'd like to know who I am and that I work with you guys, because I'm clearly referring and helping your patients that come into your hospital, and these doctors are vouching for my service. You get a hospital to do that.
Have they done that?
Yes, I got Hackensack Meridian in New Jersey to do that, which is the largest hospital network in New Jersey.
Oh my gosh, man.
To do that.
I've never heard
and
that
it was
before.
a game changer.
I've never heard
because
that.
now thousands of doctors got an email saying that who I am, about me, and that I'm a trusted partner.
Wow.
Now
Doctors.
Yes.
Jeez.
And now the doctors might not read it, but you better believe the office administrator who handles their emails or the billing office does. So now when I go to the office, a great business practice, assume the sale. And what I mean by that is I would go there and say, you should have received an email from the hospital network saying that I'm one of your trusted partners, that I'm your referral source for Medicare insurance for any of your patients.
Have they recognized it?
And boom, they say, they don't, some of them, I can tell, didn't even look. But as soon as I said that comment, they said, oh yeah, of course. Well, yeah, we'll leave your stuff here, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, all those rejections, all these objections are gone. Gone. Now they assume they have to work with you.
It's an inside job now.
And now it's an inside job. And then from there, it goes from hospital network to grow. And at the end of the day, as you grow in business and are an entrepreneur, you use all these opportunities to leverage yourself. And I would use this to leverage regional carriers that would come to me and say, hey, we know you have partnerships with these hospitals. We would love to work with them too. Can you set up a meeting? The amount of leverage and growth that I did and have become now because of that, that initial door knocking 6,000 doctors will never be replaceable.
Amen.
And there's no amount of money that can duplicate what that is and build that relationship.
That, and what's crazy is people don't realize this too. You just said it, is those 7 months are going to end up paying you. I mean, if you think about the rest of your career, hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars, like over the course of your whole career, because of some work that you put in for 7 months. You can tell that story. You still get referrals from it. You can train agents, carrier relationships. I mean, there's so many other, just a web of things that it leads to because you put in the work for 7 months when nobody else wanted to.
And that's exactly it.
It's awesome.
And it's a story that I try to teach. I try to replicate the program. And again, at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, you have to be dedicated. You have to be committed. You have to have a plan.
No doubt.
And you got to stick to it.
No doubt.
As something that I always tell my team is you can never get back up if you never fall. And you're going to have those downtimes. You're going to have those times where you fall. And what's matter is how quick you react, how quick you get back up and let things hold you down.
No doubt.
And those excuses, the intimidation, don't let one doctor's office rejection stop you from seeing 30, because it only takes one practice to get an immense amount of leads. And through those opportunities, many things happen. Let's say a doctor no longer wants to accept a carrier. Well, now they could send a letter, because now we're not doing it. The doctor's willing to say it and say, hey, we have a trusted Medicare partner. We're no longer to all of their patients.
Gosh, dudes.
I have plenty of doctors that have me on their insurance website that say one of our trusted Medicare partners on their insurance tab on their website. So that their patients.
So you're sending to they're sending to the doctor, the network of doctors. Now you're talking about them sending it to all their patients. They're being listed on the website.
Yep.
Jeez, man, that is
and
amazing.
At zero marketing cost. Maybe the gas that it took for all that traveling.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of money. Tolls.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's what it took. And I'm happy to be blessed today that as some of the people who are here today were able to see that I get phone calls all the time for people that say, hey, I heard about you. I want to enroll in Medicare and I want to do it with you without me ever communicating.
Do you still help them too, or do you refer them to your people? Yeah.
Always. Yeah. I always help because I firmly believe that they want that relationship.
Yeah.
They don't want to be just sent off to somebody else. They want a professional.
No
and it
doubt.
doesn't matter.
You still manage a book too.
Yes, I still manage a book. I'm a very competitive person, so I love trying to be the top seller. I encourage my agents to compete with me. I try to have contests internally.
They love that you're in it too, probably.
Exactly. It makes it very relatable. So this way I'll never hear the excuse that you don't know what it's like. I cannot have a downline agent ever tell me that you don't know. Yes, I do know what it's like to start with nothing and to build something, to have those interactions. I'm still doing it every day.
Amen.
And started from the ground up. So
start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's a blessing.
Also, man, a ton of value, by the way. Thank you for walking through literally every detail of what you've done and how other people can do it. I mean, he laid out a ton of value. If they want to keep learning more about you and what you're doing and get in touch, what should they do or where should they go?
Well, everybody and anybody, I'm always open to discussing, helping any way that I can. I believe that there's plenty to go around for everybody, and anybody can contact me. My office number is 732-458-5000. Okay.
I like the 5,000.
My email is B as in boy, I as in India, M as in Mary. So BIM, the name of the company, the initials for the company, Better Search Management, 204@gmail.com. And you can also find me on social media or any way possible. I am as personal as can be, and I will be, as you said, direct and honest.
No doubt.
So, and again, at the end of the day, there's no right answer for everybody. Everybody has their own way. Everybody's an individual. But I'm glad to share my way and the way that it helped me, and hopefully it helps and resonates in anybody else who wishes to contact me.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, thank you again for sharing, and thank you for being on the podcast. You're awesome.
I appreciate it, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Also, thank you guys, man. Bryan Mancheno laying it all out, giving you all the steps and detail and training of what he has done to succeed at such a high level. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, jump in comments below. Let Bryan know the pieces that you enjoyed. Give this thing a thumbs up, and we will see you, as always, on the next episode of the Power Player Podcast. Kaboom.